He travels through time and space uncontrollably, randomly appearing in the past or the future. And his clothes didn't travel with him. Henry learned to break windows and pick locks in order to find a suit and retain some semblance of decency. But this often got him arrested as a thief. Each time he was caught, he told the police there was no point in arresting him because he might just go back in time again. And the truth was just as he said. But this ability made him suffer. It didn't help him in life. It's made him a mess. He doesn't know when he'll cross over. That's why he's afraid to apply for a job at a big company. He could only work as a researcher in a library. Even when he suddenly traveled through time and space in a large library, no one noticed. Henry was afraid to make friends and was always alone. He lived in fear of random travel every day, until the day he met a special girl in the library. It was the first time they had ever met, but the woman called him by his exact name, and with tears in her eyes, she couldn't hide her excitement. That's how Henry said they met. She should have pretended to be calm, but she couldn't help feeling excited. The girl called herself Lisa. She knew it must be strange that Henry didn't recognize her by now, but she'd known Henry since she was 6. Lisa invited him to dinner, and said they'd planned this dinner all along, at Henry's favorite Thai restaurant. He wasn't sure what was going on, but he had a strange feeling about the girl in front of him, and it's not unusual for that to happen to him, so he said yes. Lisa took a diary out of her bag. She kept a diary of every time Henry came to see her. The first time Lisa saw him was when she was 6 years old in a meadow behind her house. She'd brought a red blanket and was about to have a meal on the grass, but then there was a strange noise behind her. He asked Lisa to pass him the blanket. Out of curiosity, Lisa dutifully did the same. Then he came out from behind the bushes with the blanket on. He claimed to be a time traveler. Although he didn't believe in time travel, Lisa asked him a question about the future. Henry gave Lisa's exact date of birth and the names of her parents. His brother would fall out of a tree and break his arm this weekend. Henry told her he'd be coming by more often. It would be great if she could bring him a dress next time. Henry disappeared again in front of Lisa, and the blanket he was wearing fell to the ground. At the age of 18, Lisa saw him for the last time. She hasn't seen him since. That's why Lisa was so excited to see him during the day. Lisa's eyes suddenly changed. Compared to the Henry she remembered, he was younger than she remembered. Lisa expressed her love for him. She said she'd loved him her whole life. It was as if everything was meant to be. After that night, they were in a relationship, and like all people who just fall in love, they couldn't wait to spend the whole day together. She wondered what it was like to cross over. Henry said sometimes it felt like you were suddenly standing up. There's a tingling in your arms and legs, and sometimes it feels like you're losing your mind for a second, and then he'd be naked somewhere in the world. He didn't know how long it would last, so he'd just keep walking around aimlessly, trying to look like the people around him, waiting for the next time he disappears and travels back. Although this ability allows him to go back in time or to the future, he can even see those who have passed away, but he can't change their fate. What was meant to be was meant to be. Then Lisa brought him home, and introduced him to her best friend and brother, but her brother was disgusted by Henry. Lisa hadn't had a boyfriend in years. Now she's suddenly with a man all the time. He tried to get some information out of Henry, but he didn't say anything other than he was a researcher at the library. While they were talking, Henry accidentally passed by Lisa's room, and saw her diary sitting on the table. After some internal self-fighting, he couldn't resist opening Lisa's journal. Inside was a clear record of the dates of each of Henry's visits to her. Lisa came into the room to get something and saw the scene.